There, an explanation for physics requires a belief in magic somewhere. Currently, the system believes in the magic of the Big Bang, that from an explosion, life is created. That's the magic you're expected to believe. You can believe my magic, the water seed, the magic porridge pot. At the center of the planet lies a water seed, the time particle, a warm body, measured in the pulse of the cosmic microwave background through the energy ratios that have been derived. But why? Why are they algebraically derived like that? What is the physical driver for it? It is the water seed, the magic porridge pot. And so at the center of the planet, warm body. Look at my drawings. You'd see it from our perspective as glowing with a bright white light, expanding in nested shells. And it's rotating because you see as through the nested shells, the surfaces of the ether, Reynolds surfaces that are created, infinite surfaces, you see there is viscosity slowly being developed in the expansion of the light, but it's very faint, yeah, but it's there. You get to a point, distance from the center of that glowing sphere, the magic water seed, where the surface tension overtakes the expansion power, and a Reynolds surface in the ether goes more viscous than the expansive power. The expansion is cubic. Expansion is from a tesseract center, proven there's a void at the center of the tesseract. Expansion is cubic, and so you have a cubic architecture of expansion and a spherical volumetric compression, spherical, but an elastic bodied spherical relative to the architecture. So the architecture will be perfect from the expansion of the universe. The envelope of sphere around it with an elastic body is spheroid, and it's created through a billow and drop process of pulsing. This seed at the center of the planet is incompressible, and so you've got the force of the body of water in which we float, and which our atmosphere, which everything's created. We're inside a body of water, infinite ocean, magic porridge pot. Shells build up, right? So that at the surface of water, the surface of the earth, is the point where you have the envelope of the elastica. The sphere overcomes expansion. So the earth is constructed from a cubic architecture with this envelope of surface tension around it. That's the shape of the planet. At the point of overturning the surface tension, the light itself has a viscosity within that surface, and it favors the heat. And so it always points towards where the heat comes in. Why does the heat come in? Because the shock wave of this light falling this way to its north-south orbiting as it does, as our glowing white hemisphere rotates around us at the lighthouse at the center of the universe, seeding water into the universe, new water. The shock of that echoes through the Reynolds surfaces of the ether now on the other side, forcing cavitation. So you've got the compressive force at the center is the shock wave that's created from the expansion itself. It's recursive. And what keeps it recursive is that there is friction at the center, and so because there is friction, there is noise and there is heat. A sound is created, the shock wave itself. Heat is created that travels through that shock wave in gradated layers from the center to the cosmic microwave background. The important sphere to note is our sun sphere, which is the ring tension orbiting the force sphere. So the light leaves us, gets to a 2 AU diameter sphere, and goes through a Reynolds surface conversion. Another viscosity is created, but this one is spherical. And the ring tension is expressed at a point. So that sphere is being created from the force of outside to inside. We're pulsing at the center, remember? So we're forcing this force sphere, we're creating the sun. A dot point, like a magnifying glass, on that force sphere is created, so fucking powerful that a sphere builds up around that. It has its own force of rotation now, it has its own viscosity. And so you see Mercury and Venus as additional viscosity Reynolds layers of grains building up there, force grains being forced of dilation into this tightly packed surface. and then come back to the center. Okay, here's us at the center. There's the sun. There's its four spheres. We can see them. The condition of the sun is the condition of the fourth sphere around us. Yeah, it's a ball of fire inside which we live. Yeah, so the light is turned into heat, the ball of fire, which we observe in the ring tension of the sun, which is going slower than we are, literally because it's got a drag factor, distance, and it's got its own orbiting factor. So the whole thing sets up as a balance as a clock. Water seed model. Now, where are you? Where are you? Can you see we're in the free bearing? So the pulsing of the water seed, because it cannot be destroyed, and so every moment it's compressed, it just pushes back again. Compressed, pushes back again. The surface of the elastica does this billow and drop, as it expands naturally because the water's been added, and it drops back because the time has to catch back up again as a counter snap action. So that's what we observe in quantum, all the reverse double slit stuff, all that photon stuff that you're doing. You're just looking at it from the wrong perspective. Earth is the centre of the universe. We live on the crust, and that crust is crusty and concretized in a slab. So reinforced concrete replicates the crust of the concrete of the planet herself. Massive slabs smashing together instead of a micro-cracked aggregate surface. So the reset will be that the surface of the planet stops being concretized slabs, tectonic plates, smashing together, rings of fire, all that stuff. It'll just be a single beautiful assemblage of a glowing sphere of aggregate chips, like a dilated sand surface will be the main body of concrete upon which we stand. And a whole new universe will be created where God reigns and Christ is King. So it's beautiful. Can you see it? Just change perspective, and the earth becomes the lighthouse of the universe, and then see where human beings exist. Yeah, and then realize how important we are. We are God. It must be our morality that is seeded into the universe. Welcome to the future. Bye now.